So hello and welcome to another episode of Scenes Falls. As you can see, I'm out with the SLK, and this week's video is about the amount of stress and headaches this car has caused me over the last month. So since my last video, which is a buyer's guide, and this kind of went into a lot of depth about showing you all around this SLK and things to look out for and a bit of buyer's advice, I have to admit this car has caused me nothing but trouble. There's been a few different things going on. There's been a problem, and as soon as I've solved one problem, I've got another one, and they've had to pay out quite a bit of money in order to try and get each problem fixed. So we'll go way back, and in my last video I mentioned about the steering wheel lock, and that's a problem that goes particularly on these cars. I've actually found some more information about this steering lock, which I'll go on to in a minute. But basically, the steering lock in this car failed completely. Now, it has gone before. However, in the time before, you can actually put the key ignition and you could wriggle the steering wheel around, and then it would magically start working, the car would start. However, this time the steering wheel lock decided to completely fail. No matter what I tried, no matter what I looked for advice online, nothing would get it started. Now what basically happens is you put the key ignition on this particular model and you can hear this noise. Now I did say this in my buyer's guide last time. It wasn't doing that, which wasn't a very good sign to begin with. So I didn't hear this sound, and that basically, the sound means that the steering wheel lock has been deactivated. And then when you take the key back out again, that automatically puts the steering wheel lock back on. Now the problem with this, I can't get the car started. Now you probably, if you follow my channel regularly, you know that I actually work at Mercedes-Benz dealers. So you think, oh great, okay, let's get the car recovered and I can take it to the Mercedes-Benz dealer and get it fixed there. However, this wasn't an option because of where I store the car currently. You basically can't get a big recovery truck in to the location where it's stored to actually get it out, so I can't get the car recovered. I can't drive the car somewhere, so this was the sort of first headache. It's a headache that this has actually already gone completely. It's never a headache, actually, how am I going to get this fixed? So after a few phone calls, and I managed to actually get an advice off the guy, I had someone come up for the RAC to actually look at the car, make sure it wasn't anything obvious like the battery gone completely flat or there was an issue like a fuse or something anyway. So he said no, it's definitely steering wheel lock gone, but he recommended a mobile car locksmith to me. Fantastic. So I gave this bloke a call. Yep, he can come out and do it. He's done a few other ones of these models before, and yet he knows what to do. He's never done SLK, but after a bit of checking, he has done the same type of lock as Mercedes uses, lock across different models. One of the things he told me was very interesting is that apparently on these 2011 cars they actually fitted this type of lock, and it is known for going. And he actually has a friend of his that also does locksmith work as well for cars, and he actually said that he actually mainly, the bulk of his business, just replacing Mercedes-Benz steering wheel locks, which is a bit of a pain. He actually buys them in bulk at 50 locks at a time, and he gets through that many. Anyway, he came out about a week after all this has started, managed to do the whole job, replace the barrel. However, in doing so, he had to remove the whole steering wheel, the steering wheel column, and drop it down to get access to everything he needed to get access to, which is fine, don't mind that. Part of the problem was that he really did struggle a little bit with the amount of space in this car. Any SLK, I would say, they are a little bit tight in the cabin. And I don't think he would do another SLK based on the amount of space. Now, fiddly the job is, it normally takes about 2 to 3 hours to do the job, and it took him 6 hours to do this, mainly because of access to it. So he managed to do all of that, get it sorted, and £600 later, it's all ready and it starts and everything. Now, I also haven't told you the best bit of the story, is that I do work at Mercedes-Benz dealer, and I actually had this car the day after I found out it had a problem. It was due for its MOT, which I've discussed before, and I've moved the MOT forward because it was originally into January, but because I don't want the car to be at an MOT if it's really bad winter and anything, so I left to it sort of end of the year, end of show season almost, and let's get it done in sort of September, October time. So I had to go into work and say, well, I can't get my car done, unfortunately. Ask for their advice, and yeah, anyway, I had to cancel the MOT and also do a few bits and pieces. What are you doing? It also needs a new battery, which is also still playing up while this was going on, which is a bit of a pain. So anyway, managed to get it all sorted, managed to get it rebooked back in for work, I was also going off for a week's holiday and I wanted desperately to get it done before I went away, just to get everything sorted. So I managed to get the last MOT slot for that week, and also some workshop time as well. So I took it into work, passed its MOT, fantastic. It's MOT for New Year now. It also had new batteries, so hopefully no more batteries issue, which has been playing up for the last sort of few months now on this car. I also got some new number plates because the old one looking a bit scruffy, and I also had a new inner rear arch on the front passenger side, because that one had, I think, a stone had flicked up, or something must have flicked up on the road, and it was slightly cracked and it needed just to be replaced because it was sticking out over the bodywork, and the plastic was actually had the crack, which was only about sort of probably a centimetre long. It was really annoying, but you probably could have glued it back in, but the part itself was about £40 to actually get a new one, so that's quite good. So all in all, another £400 spent, so that's about £1,000 I've had to spend on this car. However, I will say that actually this car overall hasn't cost me that much. Nothing really has gone. This is the first big issue I've had, one where the car's really let me down almost. You know, I can't do anything. It was that moment I think, hang on, I can't get it recovered, I can't start the car, I can't move the car. What am I going to do? And thankfully, as I got the recommendation for this locksmith, and he was able to sort everything for me. So everything's sorted now. Hopefully that's the sort of be all end all of these issues. As I say, I've had the still not go forward, but at least then I can actually start the car and actually still use the car as such. But this was the first time the car was absolutely unusable. I say thankfully he was able to come out and do everything he needed. Actually sat on the driveway, and I was able to come back from work and he was still just finishing off. He came at about midday, and I came back at 6:30 and he was just finishing off the car. I felt so sorry for him. And I don't think he's going to do another SLK, to be honest. So much I'd like to recommend him, I don't think he'll do one. The only time I would do one, I think, is if someone else could take the steering wheel off and all the economy, then could take it to workshop and go do everything there. So yes, it's been a bit of a nightmare, this car. So I have to admit it's been a bit of a pain. But as I say, it's never really let me down that badly before. And every car has its luck at the draw, really. Something is always going to go wrong eventually. And it was just a shame it all sort of happened all in one go, with the battery playing up, steering lock going, MOT needed to be booking, then cancelled and rebooking. And also wanted to get it all done before I went on my holiday, because I didn't want to be stressing out about it while I was away. So a little bit of sigh of relief, I have to admit now. And the only thing is, I've got it all running, and now it's time to put it in for winter storage. I'll take this car to my parents' house and store it over the winter in their garage, just to keep it out the worst of the weather. So for probably next couple of weeks, it probably will be going up there. As I film this, it's sort of mid to late October actually. So it's not been too bad of an October. It's actually been quite mild. We seem to be having a sort of wet couple of weeks at the moment, lots of rain around. So I'm not able to use the car quite as much as I would like, but probably looking towards next week or to end of October, beginning of November, this car's going to go away into storage, and hopefully then sort of March time, if we have a nice mild March, it'll be back out again, and hopefully starting going to some shows again now. So yes, it's caused me a lot of headaches, cost me a lot of money, but it is what it is at the end of the day. I still love this car, and I still take it out. I took it out for a drive recently, and it is still worth it. I know it's a lot of money. It's a very nice luxury to have a car that's just for the weekends that I can spend £1,000 on and not be too worried about the cost to me. I'm very lucky that I'm in that financial position where I can. I know a lot of people just having a Mercedes is a real dream come true, let alone me having two. So yes, this car's all sorted, all ready to go away. Next year when it comes out of winter storage, I'm probably going to do a few little bits of bodywork. There's a few little sort of dents down the side, a few little chips, and a couple of little bits and pieces that I might just want to get sort of touched up and pulled out and whatever else. And then really just try and get this car out to as many shows and events and get using it next year. It will be nearly 12 years old it's 11 years old at the moment. It's 12 years old next year, so I'm thinking probably it's time to do a little bit of sort of body work on it, just to get a few things done. Hopefully that won't cost too much, I'm hoping. and just get out there and use it and just enjoy it and take some shows. I've already started compiling some dates for next year, which is absolutely scary because I feel like I've only just finished this year's shows and events and everything, and I'm already thinking ahead for next year, which is a little bit of a way off. That's a good 6 months off yet before I start really doing anything. So yes, this car's all sorted, ready to go away for winter, get it back out, paint work, body work, all that sort of stuff. There's not that much doing it. It's a few little niggly little things that I'm trying to get this car absolutely really spotlessly clean and spotlessly sorted really. So yes, that's the plan with this car. Go to some events next year and then just use it and enjoy it. As I mentioned, I'm really lucky to have this as a second car. This originally was actually it's always been a bit of a second car because when I bought this car, I only worked around the corner from where I lived. So I never used it actually as a daily drive. I used to either walk to the place or used to get a lift. And it never really was used that much. But now it's actually turned into just a weekend car, and now I need a car for everyday driving the B class, which has been completely onto the B class, which has been absolutely fine. That's had a service and MOT, needed 2 new tyres, passed the MOT, which was fine, got them sorted. And that's been it really, the B class. That's again, I take a little bit of different attitude of the B class. It is a daily drive at the moment. It's absolutely covered in dirt and general road grime, and I don't mind it really. it's a totally different attitude really between these two cars. This one gets a bit of dirt and I'm having to give it a full clean. That one is absolutely, it was brown last year at one point. It wasn't white, it turned brown. And I really just didn't actually care. It's one of them, totally different attitude. But the B class is going fine. Still doing all the daily driving. It had a week off, which is strange. Normally it's actually in use most days, but I had a week off recently while I was away on holiday. Which, yeah, it's sort of been a very good buy, the B class. It's in everyday use. It's very economical fuel. I normally get sort of driving around, I'll get 50 to 60 miles per gallon. And then if I go on a long distance drive, it will generally be above 60. I've had it as high as 67 before now. That's an average, so it probably was doing those sort of 70s. So I'm really happy with the B class. However, I'm not sure I love that car much. I really like the B class. This is still my absolute pride and joy. And it is something that I sort of look forward to the weekends and taking it out on a nice sunny Sunday morning to a show or just going out for a drive or whatever it might be. So yes, it's caused me a lot of hardship, this car, a lot of headaches, a lot of logistical nightmare, but it's sorted now and I can get back to doing what I love and actually enjoying this car for a little bit longer until it goes away for its winter storage. So that's a little bit of sort of an update video, mainly on this car, a little bit about the B class as well. So I'm going to wrap things up there for this video, and hopefully next time we see the SLK on the channel will be a little bit more positive. But we do want to end in a positive because I do still love this car no matter what really. So I'm going to wrap the video up there. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, make sure you like the video. If you want to see more, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And anything you want to comment or ask any questions on about the SLK or indeed my B class, please do leave them in the comment below and I will do my very best as usual to answer them. So it's goodbye from me and goodbye from the SLK, and I will see you next time.